go ahead and just go out here, tweet some things out. Fuck this Grammarly ad. I do not need to see that right now. We'll try to get some engagement here. What's up, everyone? Hope y'all are having a fantastic day. I've been having an alright day myself. Thank y'all for asking. Yeah, I don't know. I'm like figuring out how I want to start these. As you can tell, the assistant button, or if you've seen one of these streams before, the assistant button looks a little different. The assistant looks a little different. I'm not really good with UI, UX. Thankfully, we live in the age of AI, which can help me out with that a little bit, but, yeah. If you are watching, let me know what you think in the chat, in the comment section down below. Yeah, I just totally leaked my exposures, but I don't think that really matters. I did want to show y'all, I've added this, which, yes, I have spent a fuck ton of money in these drafts, but thankfully, I make a really good amount of money, so I am fortunate that I can do this. Not so fortunate that I can be doing this, but yeah, we have updated some, I won't say all, but some of our rankings here. So you can see some of our least invested players right here. Unfortunately, my favorite player in the world, Christian McCaffrey, is here, but I have to be objective. And what I did want to do, actually, was throw in this sleeper link. So that should be updated within the actual stream. And we're just gonna go ahead and throw this in here real quick, and pin it. So this is the link to join the Sleeper League if you are at all interested. Yeah. But for now, we're going to be getting into 2 drafts tonight because, frankly, I'm feeling a little bit more into it right now. As you can see, the pointer does close. I am not too upset about it, but wow, we have a college football best ball. Best bowl mania. I'm not gonna lie, I would never know how to draft that, but let's go ahead and open up the NFL drafts here. Yeah, just reconfirming. That's unfortunate, but yeah, here we go. We're gonna get into one of these. This 66% filled, and what you will see also here is I put so much money into the first puppy and like no money into these puppies. Of course, as these puppies go on, they're gonna start filling more and more as people are more comfortable with drafting as the season goes on. But yeah, we're gonna just let this ride for a little bit, and this is some news that I wanted to talk about here. This is just some intern. This is engagement farming. Is Brendan Sorsby even that good? I know that stats don't tell the full story, but I don't really follow college insanely well, especially if they're not going to be draft prospects, which obviously Brandon Sorsby was not. True freshman. Senior year, 2,800 passing yards. Not the greatest completion percentage. High touchdown percentage here. Attempted yards per attempt. Yards per completion, yards a game. Playing at Cincinnati though, and he lost his job to Fernando Mendoza, who obviously turns out to be an elite prospect, but yeah, there's just not enough here for me to be thinking that that is true. I think that any of the quarterbacks that were, oh my god, we got the 101. Oh my god. If you have watched any of these streams before, you know that I am so unlucky when it comes to getting Gibbs. We finally get Gibbs. I am so happy here. I'm ecstatic. Yeah. All right. I guess I won't really be able to show off my new tools, but we got partners left, which is if I put in a Jahmyr Gibbs. Sorry, is it not loaded? Yeah, so if I do Jahmyr Gibbs, oh, maybe I need to reload this page. I don't know if it's properly loaded in, but Jahmyr Gibbs will go off the board for us. No recorded partners for Jahmyr Gibbs. If we were to instead do a Bijan Robinson, you will see who I've drafted the most of with Bijan, where we have a lot of Brock Bowers, Jeremiah Love, Trey McBride, Nico Collins, George Pickens, you know, etc. So, yeah, but the only other person that or the only other draft that I've picked Jahmyr Gibbs in, I have taken Jeremiah Love. It is this slow draft that I am in here, which is also for the same tournament. Or I've taken Jeremiah Love and AJ Brown actually in this draft. So those are two names that I will be avoiding here. But honestly, I am excited. It is a new day. I finally get the 101 pick, which if I ever got, I am a Bijan supporter. The only reason I'm not taking Bijan is because I literally have 0, and I'm not that heavy on Bijan being better than Gibbs, or that much better than Gibbs, that my weightages can be this different. If we take a look at the draft assistant while we're here at running back, and we look at, let's just look at ADP, 15.2 and 0. There's a dash here. So, yeah, I'm not that confident that Bijan is that much better than Jahmyr Gibbs. I've just been unfortunate. Here we go. We finally get the opportunity to balance this out. Yeah. Whoa, never mind. Justin Jefferson goes at 6. Above CMC and Jonathan Taylor. Jonathan Taylor goes then, and Amon-Ra, and McCaffrey falls to 9. I've mentioned this before, but McCaffrey has been a faller recently. So I guess we'll have to see really what happens there. My rankings have McCaffrey at 9 as well, so yeah. What I've also started to do is I think that I'm gonna work on making some Dynasty content as well. So using the Dynasty content, I'm gonna make it that it is more likely than not. I'm going to be formatting off these leagues that I'm in. So I have created the league that is pinned over here in the chat. So feel free to join that. On top of which, you know, there's a multitude of other leagues out there, but I'm in another league that I am going to probably just be making videos about, maybe streaming about here and there towards the beginning of the regular season. But yeah, see Barkley at 13, Devon Achane at 14. Pretty standard stuff here. The Justin Jefferson reach is the only thing that's really different, in my opinion. The issue is that I feel the second round has had such volatile ADPs where you do see like James Cook, Saquon Barkley, Ashton Jeanty, Devon Achane, and Marion Hampton going towards these earlier halves. But Kenneth Walker has fallen all the way down here at times. Generally speaking, he's towards the front. Chase Brown began this offseason all the way at the end of the second round. He has made his way all the way up here. So there's not too many values and unique pairs that you can make within these specific areas. But AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, now that might be one of them, because I don't think AJ Brown is ever going early second round here, and Justin Jefferson is never going this early. So shout out to the team at 6 for absolutely being the most unique team I've seen thus far. Drake London, Puka Nacua. Obviously, we just talked about fading Jeremiah Love here, so we hope that the player in front of us takes him. We'll see what happens here, though. Chris Olave goes. So we're going to go ahead and take Nico Collins here with the 24th pick. I am very excited by that. That is, yeah. And we're going to take Trey McBride with the next pick, so we're not going to be skipping ahead in our rankings too much. But I don't want every team that I have Jahmyr Gibbs on to be tethered down to Jeremiah Love, unfortunately. Even though I do think that he is the pick at this moment. I'm not too upset with the start here. So this is a team where I'm believing in CJ Stroud, which is always a little bit concerning to me. Which is why you don't see me draft so much Nico Collins, why I think that Jeremiah Love is a whole tier above Nico Collins. And we see Travis Etienne, or Achane, Devonta Smith. If this guy at 6 somehow gets Jeremiah Love, AJ Brown, and Justin Jefferson, it's actually not that crazy. Just because I just mentioned that I had AJ Brown, Justin Jefferson, or AJ Brown, Jeremiah Love team. Breece Hall also falls here. I don't believe too much in Travis Etienne. You see Rashee Rice goes here. Rice, his ADP has been so volatile, where he was going middle of the second round. Obviously now he's all the way down at 30, but there's points where he was going at the end of the third, fourth turn. In the very beginning with the whole injury jail situation, he was going terribly low. So that is what we are looking at here. But yeah, excited to see. Obviously the name of the live stream, it's not meant to be a shot at, the Flock Fantasy guy, Mason Dodd. I actually truly respect the dude. I'm trying to get some views, I'm trying to be engagement farming, and yeah. But yeah, we're gonna probably end up live streaming a few drafts. I'm thinking of turning my pick. So I'm doing a startup dynasty league. So doing the draft for the startup, I'm going to just end up, drafting that pretty soon, but and turning it into a video probably. So I'll save those clips, put it all together for y'all. But yeah, should be a pretty cool video when that comes out. I'll break down my picks as they happen. And yeah, Ladd McConkey, Tedro McMillan, So we haven't seen anything super insane at this point. Malik Neighbors is kind of high, in my opinion. As the news keeps coming out about Malik Neighbors, the more I read into the injuries that he has sustained, I am less willing to make the bet on him. But yeah, we see that Team 7 has 3 running backs, so I'm assuming this is no. Wow. Oh my god, this I didn't even realize. Josh Allen fell to 42. So this has also been a consistent thing within these drafts. You didn't see it in the pointer, but Josh Allen has become a faller. He is free falling, where this team would actually normally get him, but he has fallen all the way down to 42. So yeah, if we looked at his ADP here, Josh I will take a look in a second because I'm about to be on the clock. But yeah. You'll see that Colston Loveland actually is my highest ranked player here. I'm actually not the biggest fan here, and obviously we already have ooh, beautiful. I'm pretty good going wide receiver here. I haven't taken Jalen Waddle in a while, and I do believe that he is wide receiver 1 here. Even though I do own a lot of Jalen Waddle, I don't mind it. I did take Mike Evans on this other team that I have him on, so maybe I should have taken Devontae Adams, but nothing I can do about that now that I've already made my selections. But yeah. So while we are over here, we're gonna take a look. There is a very telling this is some pretty interesting comments, but blood clots that sidelined him last season. Like, this was originally not too scary for me, but the fact that he is only now getting off the blood thinners, 6 months later, is a little concerning to me. We can see average timeline to recover from blood clots. So he went to the tail end of his issue here, and he suffers the blood clot within his lungs, which forced him to miss the final game of the season. So effectively 6 months, the longest that you will generally see it. And if we look at what happened to Chris Bosh, I know it's a different sport. I know he's built completely differently. But a 6'11" center had blood clots in his leg and lungs. So obviously the difference was that he had them in 2 different places, and they were very severe. Again, I'm not a doctor. I am a mere college student who has a slight background in biology. But generally, these things don't trend too well. We'll just look at a list of athletes that have suffered blood clots. Damian Lillard, Serena Williams. So again, nothing overly issue. His career was cut short. Mirza I don't know how to say that name. I'm very sorry. Asar Thompson is doing great. We have no idea what is happening to Dame. Chris Bosh's career was over. Wemby obviously is fine. Yeah, let's go ahead and take a look at who we're going to pick up here, though. it doesn't look like we're in line to get any of the larger names at QB unless we see an insane run here and we end up reaching on the names that may go with. So Makai Lemon is gone. Okay. So Hurts is my top QB. I'm never taking Parker Washington. I'm taking a running back and a QB in this situation. So I guess we'll just see who is left with us. I'm never taking an unstacked Caleb. Jalen Hurts is a QB that I'm okay taking unstacked, which is also why I have him ranked above all these other players. I think he is effectively the best at his position. You see Tony Pollard has significantly fallen in ADP, but yeah. There's no way I take Parker Washington here. There's no way I take an unstacked Caleb. With Jalen Hurts and this huge run on QBs, it may be prudent that I take one. We're going to stall a little bit by taking my... We will be taking Chuba, actually, just because of the ADP. And I think we will be getting the opportunity to take him later. So let's just go ahead and take a Ramondre Stevenson and hope that we can get a elite middle range QB in Bo Nix, but this run on QBs does not look good. To what I see, teams 3, 4, 5, and 6 should not be so... Excuse me. So in the past 8 picks, we see 5 QBs go, which is a horrible look here. Yeah, I am pretty upset with that one. Let's see who is looking to get back to us here. We have the coin flip chances on basically Blake Corum X. I am willing to take Blake Corum, but at this point, maybe just more prudent to take someone else in his position. Josh Downs. We could take a Brock Purdy, Ricky Pearsall stack. Could be interesting here. I don't actually have that stack yet, to my knowledge. We can do a Brock, and then Ricky. We have never done that before. I have had teams with Chuba and Trey, Nico and Jalen, Jalen and Trey, which is unfortunate, but... Yeah, I might create another thing on here to basically warn you of over-correlating drafts, because yeah, sometimes you're going to get players that you've drafted together before, but over-correlating where you have 3 players that you have taken together before, it'll give you a warning. But yeah, that's kind of what I'm looking at doing now. What I could do is get Michael Wilson here and get another player, or I could get a Jacoby Brissett down the line and double stack the Arizona Cardinals offense. I just don't believe in it enough to do that. If I do take him, I'm not going to take him like that. I'm honestly feeling really good about this stack here. Jackson Dart, Jacoby Myers. Yeah, I have Purdy down here. But we're going to switch things up. We're going to take Purdy, and we're going to take Ricky Pearsall. The issue with these draft positions is you always get these pretty disgusting positions, but yeah, we're going to go ahead and do what I've always talked about doing that I can finally do because of our positions, but all right, here we go. I am super excited to continue drafting. We see Jackson Dart is falling here as people are reaching on their stacked QBs here. Pretty interesting. Again, nothing too deep here, but also given Chris Olave's brain injury, his consistent issue with concussions, I'm a little bit more worried about a Chris Olave having issues than I am, like, normal players. So, yeah. We'll see how that goes for him. Obviously, hoping for the best for that guy. Love him. He did a lot for me in fantasy last year, but and I just realized I put Purdy as the thumbnail. And we have Purdy in this draft. This is the one, guys. This is the one. I hope. I can beg, but let's see what we got going on here. Bo Nix goes. Jared Goff goes. They were fallers here, but this is the most disgusting double stacked situation I've ever seen. But we're going to stay away from the running backs here and probably end up taking a 5 running back team, considering we will only need the 2 tight ends. If somehow George Kittle makes it back to us, we will be done at tight end. Having George Kittle and Trey McBride would be the most beautiful thing ever. But I wouldn't bet too high that I get that opportunity here. I have a lot of Romeo Doubs on the... Yeah, George Kittle goes. On the upside that he would be useful for us. Again, I don't think it's going to happen. If I look at people I have taken with Purdy, I believe that Baker has happened before. Okay. And I have Baker on this team that also has Jahmyr Gibbs. So I really should not be getting Baker here. Which sucks a lot. We could look at a Cam Ward, and then Jacoby Brissett. We can always do Malik Willis and aim to get a later tight end. But let's see what we have going on here. I do want to get a receiver regardless, and I really hope that we don't see a run here, which we might. This team has a 2 QB, 2 running back, 4 wide receiver, 1 tight end, but Mayfield goes anyway. We don't get that option. We will be getting one of these 3 receivers. I believe in this draft I have Wan'Dale. I don't. So anyone other than Jaden Higgins is fine with me, and I would prefer Wan'Dale Robinson. Again, Wan'Dale Robinson has the upside of being a former 1,000-yard receiver. So you do get that. Jordan Mason, I think, is the better running back in this backfield. I, however, am not too interested in taking Really? Any of these players? Oh, this is such a disgusting spot to pick from. We're gonna take Kelsey. Let's take Romeo Dobbs. Let's take Romeo Dobbs. Romeo Dobbs is clearly an ADP faller as well. In this one, where he has an ADP of 116, which as his ADP is falling, I'm grabbing him at a lower point, probably just to stable out my investments here. Because if I do look for a player like Dobbs, Romeo, I'm an idiot, Romeo, I have taken him at 112 on average, and his ADP is now, right now, saying 115. I think it's updated to 116 now, but that is not a good look. So getting him at 121 definitely will help average out my investment here. C-Rod goes. Jake Ferg goes early. I think this is a team that took Dak. And they are probably done here at quarterback. We are the most quarterback behind team. Because obviously this team has Josh Allen. This team just took their first quarterback in Malik Willis, so maybe not. We just haven't had the best options here at quarterback. We may slam the quarterbacks in this next one. Hoping that we're going to get a CJ Stroud or Cam Ward here, which may be a rich hope. But let's see what the assistant is saying here. 5 running backs, 2 tight ends, 8 receivers, 3 quarterbacks. So if we look at the people who are going to start for us every week, we got Jahmyr Gibbs, Nico Collins, Trey McBride, Mike Evans, Jalen Waddle, Chuba Hubbard / Ramondre. Honestly, don't really care who's going there. Brock Purdy afterwards. Not too bad. I do want some other running back values. If I can get a Pacheco and monopolize this Detroit Lions offense backfield, I would be super happy. Currently looks like CJ Stroud is an actual coin flip here. Versus Cam Ward just being a 40%er, as we don't have any other reaches occurring just yet. If Jalen Coker somehow falls, we could take Jalen Coker and we would have to reach on Bryce Young because we would not be coming back here. I hate drafting at the edges of the boards. I haven't done too much of it as well, as you can see here. Or I've done a lot of drafting at 12. I haven't done a lot of drafting at 1. So I feel like I am now more comfortable drafting at 12. But drafting at 1 here, very clearly, not that good at. This guy has 2 QBs. I hope he's not looking to get a third. All these guys have 2 QBs. I would assume Rashid Shaheed, Woody Marks, maybe Chig are going here. And they don't. This guy takes his 3rd QB, and his team has Joe Burrow, Matthew Stafford, and Cam Ward. You honestly hate to see it, but Pacheco gets reached on? Man, I'm getting unlucky in these. The issue with Stroud is he has the bye conflict, but I really don't like how invested I am in Rashid Shaheed, so I'm going to just take Stroud. We're going to take Woody Marks, and we will take the Arizona quarterback in Jacoby Brissett, who, while we are here, while we have this long wait time, let's go ahead and take a look at any Jacoby Brissett news we may have out there. Obviously, I should not be searching him up, but Jacoby Brissett. See, this is the reason why I'm scared. I do think that Brissett is the better quarterback. Mandatory minicamp, he's there. Okay. We already do have the Bryce Young stat with Chuba Hubbard, so that's not that big of an issue. Here's where I'm looking to pick up my secondary tight end. So we may go Dalton Schultz to Sean Stribling and really stack up this backfield. Where I wouldn't feel like great about Dalton Schultz if it weren't for the fact that I have CJ Stroud, as I mentioned in my video, which if you haven't watched it already, you should. I have some pretty interesting takes on tight ends, especially in these best ball leagues. But holy shit, Sam Darnold falls. Yeah, my weak Sam Darnold investment looks really good in this draft, as he is pick 159. He hasn't gone off the board yet. I'm assuming the JSN team may be interesting here. Because the Rashid Shaheed team is taken. If he continues to fall, how far down is AJ Barner? He's pretty far. Okay, we see Sam Darnold go on a team with Lamar Jackson, so they just take the value pick in Sam Darnold. Me personally, I'm still skipping him there. I don't like that pick. I can't speak. I don't like that pick one bit. So you can see Bryce Young does go as a faller as well. I was hoping he wouldn't, but yeah. I have a decent amount of DeJon Stribling, but that's not going to stop me from taking him here. So DeJon Stribling and Dalton Schultz are my guys. If both of them show up, that would be blessed. But I'm just going to mark him. I shouldn't have marked him. That sends out like a cosmic message to everyone that these guys are there. 168, which is his exact ADP. 169. So I'm getting these guys at ADP. Nothing special here. We are done at tight end here, where we have the elite tight end and we have the guy that'll fill in for the bye week, and maybe if Trey McBride has a bad week. But yeah, if Trey McBride gets hurt in this one, this team is pretty much done anyway. So there's no point in taking a third tight end. At this point, we just need the third quarterback, the fifth running back, and the eighth receiver in our last three picks. So we will see if we have the luck of a Jacoby Brissett making it back to us. I know that he is showing up that he would, but again, crazier things have happened. I can also take Tank Dell here and really load up on the Texans offense. But yeah, this is obviously if we get a David Montgomery split roll, if David Montgomery's older age, where I think he is turning 29 this season. David Montgomery age 29 June 7th. So he is 29. Running backs are not as good when they're that old. 30 is a known age cliff for running backs, so not that I hope for a man's downfall, but would be beneficial for this fantasy team here. But yeah, we're gonna keep these going. We see Greg Dulcich go off at 181. My Greg Dulcich investments are looking insane. As everyone has caught on to him, my average pick of Greg Dulcich is 197. Holy shit. I'm gonna have to keep moving him up, which I don't mind at all. But I look like a genius. And here's the thing. I know that he's become more mainstream now, but clearly I have been on this guy, so fuck anyone who says otherwise. I do think he's comparable to AJ Barner. Is honestly the quarterback situation, and does this guy have Malik Willis? This guy does not. He's the guy who takes Bo Nix. I say that because I have Jalen Waddle and I wanted Bo Nix, but as you can see, I'm never drafting Alvin Kamara. I have no interest in him at this age. Jeremy Bernard is an interesting faller here. Where I may take, especially since Tank Dell goes down, I'm going to take Jeremy Bernard and stack him, or also reach on Jacoby Brissett here. Again, words that I never want to be saying, but given I have Trey McBride, and his success will be a large part of this offense doing well, I don't mind it. So with our last pick, we will be taking any running back available. Would love the Christian McCaffrey backup here, but we'll see what exactly we get, because we only have Ricky Pearsall here. I don't mind. Double stacking is always really interesting, because again, you're already making heavy bets on an offense when you're choosing their quarterback, especially a quarterback that doesn't rush as much. Obviously Purdy rushes the ball here and there. He'll get you a few rushing touchdowns. He has the ability to run. CJ Stroud is a quarterback that will never have the ability to run, so you're significantly betting on his passing volume. So yeah, I don't mind in a pass receiving running back offense that is the 49ers offense taking a pass catching running back. But I just saw a crazy thing, and I don't know if it's real, but it's like PETA was telling the Spurs to change their name. But man, yeah, okay, that would never happen. I didn't see that AJ Dub, I don't know how to say his name, was in that deal. Man, this guy's bored. We're taking literally the last pick. Wow. Okay, we have a better idea of what running backs are going to be there. We're going to go to the assistant. Obviously, Brian Robinson is not on here. We got Katron Allen, Emmanuel Wilson, Marshawn Lloyd. Actually, I may want Marshawn Lloyd over all these guys. But we'll take Ray Davis. Where's Jordan James? Jordan James. because of the stack, I will take him over anyone other than Katron Allen. I'm not too interested in George Holani. I am... James Kimani Vidal is someone who is all the way down here. And then James Conner could be interesting. But yeah. I could load up another draft, but the thing is that my... I need my exposures to sync, so... yeah. I just have them loaded up so I don't need to think too much. We'll see who we're getting. Marshawn Lloyd is there still. I honestly may just take Katron Allen just because I think that the guaranteed weird offense or backfield with Katron Allen versus the, betting that Josh Jacobs is going to jail with Marshawn Lloyd is a little bit different, but I also have a lot more Marshawn Lloyd here where I have 9.1%. Getting Katron Allen at an extreme discount when his ADP is actually on its way up, I don't mind it. Jordan James goes. I'm assuming that this guy also takes a running back here. He takes LaQuint Allen, if I'm not mistaken. That is an insane pick. Yeah. I'm very happy with how this draft comes out, actually. Getting Katron Allen at the end there is actually kind of like the cherry on top. But, yeah. Brock Purdy, CJ Stroud, Jacoby Brissett, Jahmyr Gibbs, Chuba Hubbard, Ramondre Stevenson, Woody Marks, Katron Allen. This is a pretty solid receiving core here, where if Mike Evans doesn't end up doing well, we also have the secondary receiver here in Dejon Stribling. Yeah, and then the elite tight end with a supplemental tight end on the side here. But that looks all great to me. We're going to go ahead and just sync the exposures and give me 2 seconds while I do that. Alright, should be synced. $33 entries. It's actually correct. It's 34 entries. Weird. Okay. I hope that is active and it is not discounting my current draft, but yeah, we're gonna get back into a puppy and we'll see immediately if it is, based on if it shows Jahmyr Gibbs. And they're not giving me the... oh, okay. It just had an email to me. Okay, awesome. Damn, that was a little scary. What's up, guys? I see that 2 people are on here. Y'all must be as bored as me. Literally doing nothing with my life other than drafting at this hour. But if you're interested in joining in on this chat or joining in on these leagues, go for... that is interesting. I didn't know that you could do that on YouTube. go ahead and click the link and submit a request. I will be looking at it. So, yeah. We get the 8th pick here, which is honestly a not very bad pick. I'm always pretty standard with how I pick these, but 8th pick is definitely something I'm interested in here. As you can see, my 8th ranked player is CeeDee Lamb. So, doesn't look like a draft where we're going to get Christian McCaffrey. Who knows? We may extend our exposures. But if all things are actually going to plan, I will be getting my number 1 ranked player in this situation in Amon-Ra St. Brown, who, has the ADP of 7.6. But to me, he is the 6th best player in this draft. So, or in these formats. But let's go ahead and see what happens. I'm assuming Jahmyr Gibbs, Bijan, Jamar Chase, Puka Nacua, JSN, all pretty standard, and it gets pretty wonky from there. It's pretty tough being a 49ers fan, wearing this jersey, the only 49ers jersey that I own, and, not taking my favorite player, the player that I watched live at Stanford University. But yeah, there's just, in most cases, it's hard for me to be convinced that I can take him. So far, we see some pretty standard stuff going, but JSN goes off. We're assuming Jonathan Taylor here. We're assuming CMC here. But there's no CMC. I'll take CMC. I'll take him. I'm wearing the jersey. I put him up there. Let's do it. I really don't like doing that. But let's go ahead and take a look here, because we do have CMC drafted before. So let's see who I took him with. So Saquon Barkley. Oh, I remember that team. That was the disgusting team. So we don't really have to worry too much here. But yeah, if Devon Achane somehow falls to me here, I will feel so much better and start slamming some receivers. Please. James Cook would be great too. Okay, Devon Achane, my most drafted running back. Fuck me, my bad. As you can see, my most spent on player just becomes more expensive. But Devon Achane, welcome to the squad. To me, he is the 11th best player in these drafts. And he is going at pick number 17 to me. Christian McCaffrey, to me, is a reach, but by ADP is not. By ADP for Devon Achane, it is also not a reach. So, again, I feel amazing about this draft. In a case where we're going to start this heavy on running backs, we're going to be looking primarily at receivers. 32 is a range where we start considering the quarterbacks and Josh Allen. In this case, I will not be considering him unless he makes it back down to us at 41, which may sound insane, but it did literally just happen. So if you were tuned into the previous draft, you will see that was something that we saw. But yeah, oh my god, I haven't worn this jersey in fucking forever. It feels great to be wearing this again. Yeah, it has been way too long. We see Trey McBride goes off before Brock Bowers. Honestly, I do think that Trey McBride is the better. Whoa. Rashee Rice. goes back at the 2-3 turn here, and I wonder if this is because of the whole jail news, him getting out, and his ADP is returning. Now, what I would assume is that since it was a 30-day sentence, it would be pretty much assumed that this jail thing was priced in, but again, this is actually someone who drafts a lot with a bronze badge. I don't know what the underdog drafts badges mean. After we pick at 32, we'll go ahead and search them up. Damn, we lose our last viewer, which is so sad. I wish they'd chat so I had a chance to talk to people, but yeah. Okay, we are on the clock here. Chris Olave just goes off, which is great. We can take, I think my highest ranked receiver is going to be Garrett Wilson, but we're going to take Zay. Just because I just can't take the third running back and that running back be Breece Hall in my Christian McCaffrey offense. We're going to have to drop Garrett Wilson in our rankings. We will have to do that. I think that this is fair. Now again, Garrett Wilson was originally way higher. We got him in the 3rd round. If we get him here in the 4th, I will not be terribly upset. Now that we have Zay Flowers, I will be looking at getting a Lamar Jackson in this one. Lamar Jackson and Malik Willis would be insane. We're going to have to hope that he comes back to us, though, because I'm not reaching for him. And Javonte is still on the board. Javonte goes. I am not a fan of women beaters like Josh Jacobs. Garrett Wilson, who I have ranked at 37. Oh, okay, he doesn't make it back. So Luther Burden is someone we will take here. Again, he's kind of expensive in my opinion, but there's so much upside and so much buzz about him that I'm willing to take him at this spot. Especially since we do need the help here. I could do something really stupid and take Lamar and also stack him with Caleb. I don't want to do that, but we will see. Again, Lamar is not someone I have been overly invested in because of the injury concern. But as these quarterbacks are going to start getting cheaper, I am more willing to invest in them. As you can see, Josh Allen still slides behind ADP here, 3 spots. Between the very small sample size, which is these past 2 drafts, he has now gone at 34 and 42, which both are 3 and 11 spots behind ADP. So something to keep note of. Colston Loveland goes, which is interesting. I think he's making the bet that you will see Caleb again. No. The team at 3 takes an unstacked Lamar and kind of screws us here. So the idea of taking Caleb Williams is back on. Wow. Oh my God. That is unfortunate. We'll be taking a wide receiver then. I'm not ever taking DJ Moore here. I will take so many players before DJ Moore. DJ Moore goes. I could take Roma Dunze and get really cute with it. What I think I'm going to do instead is maybe just take the third running back here and take a 4 running back team just because the wide receiver options are not looking that great. Reach here on Caleb just because he is, out of these QBs, the one that we are the most interested in. Going here at 64, we will be taking him 6 picks early, but we get one of the QB1 options, QB2 options. So even though I do think he's the worst of the top 7 QBs. People are very fond of taking him at reaches just because of, like, you know, everything that comes with him and his elite receiving targets. We don't see any of these guys go off yet, which is concerning. Take Brian Thomas. Is there a chance that we get Trevor Lawrence? Probably not. If I get him, do I kind of want to do that instead? Yes. Caleb Williams goes. And this is where I start getting a little frustrated in these drafts. We're going to have to try our best to do that. The guy who takes Rome Odunze reaches 7 picks for him. He takes Caleb and Josh Allen together. That just hurts. Our top 2 quarterback options both sniped. Not even sniped. One was taken unstacked, and the other was just, yeah, that's a pure snipe, but it is brutal, but we are at a 3-3 start, and we must keep going. I still don't understand how these names are back-to-back, but whatever. Marv is still on the board here. Let's see. Jalen Hurts is still not gone. Which we may just end up reaching on Trevor, depending on how things go here. If we see the team that takes Parker Washington here take Trevor Lawrence away from us, I might actually crash out live on stream. It's interesting to see Alec Pierce go off here. Mekhi Lemon, Jalen Hurts, the most common stack in fantasy. I have Trevor Lawrence not too far back here. I do think that he is the better quarterback option over Herbert. I need to fucking kill someone. Oh my god, dude. 3 straight snipes? Shit. Let's take DK. Or let's take Herbert. And then let's take QJ. Because this is ridiculous. And I'm not a back-to-back picker, and I think everything is screwed. Oh my goodness, dude. What the fuck? We're gonna end up having Herbert unstacked, because QJ's gonna end up going for some reason. This is heartbreaking, dude. This might be my worst draft, in my opinion. Because we're already taking the risk in starting with a Christian McCaffrey start. We lose out on the opportunity to take Lamar. We lose out on the opportunity to take Caleb. And then we lose out on Trevor Lawrence. Oh my god. This guy takes an unstacked Dak. Which I hope this Johnson goes. Fortunately there's Trey Harris and other options later on. I'll take the discounted wide receiver 1 in Green Bay. Probably keep crying. Yeah, I don't know who I can even get here. I'm just gonna highlight some of these names. I have so much Gadsden for what I think he is as a player. I'm not willing to. Keaton Mitchell and Trey Harris are my only 2 names that I'm interested in here. We'll just have to take another quarterback and fucking figure it out. I hope that we can get to Malik Willis here. I don't think we will. But, yeah. Whew. I might have to figure out a way to clip that because that is so annoying. We got Purdy going off here. We got Bo Nix, Purdy back to back. On a team that has nobody from either of those teams. Fun. Blake Corum goes. We could take Jordan Love. That is what taking Jayden Reed has done for us, and yeah. That is probably what we're going to try to do. Obviously, now that I've said that, he's probably going to go. But we're going to take the next receiver here. Jacoby Myers does fall. He is my highest ranked receiver. He's ranked back-to-back with Michael Pittman here. Jordan Love technically doesn't even fall to us, so I can't even hate if... Ooh, whoa. I got to be careful. Yeah, Jordan Love is a coin flip, so I can't be too mad if I have my 4th straight snipe here. But let's see. Hey, world, you didn't give me Lamar Jackson when I wanted him over here. You instead had someone reach on him by over 10 picks in ADP. World, I wanted Caleb Williams. Someone reaches on him, 7 picks in ADP, 2 picks before I wanted him. World, I wanted Trevor Lawrence. Someone takes him right before me on a Parker Washington team. And now I want Jordan Love. Matthew Golden goes, so Jordan Love's gone. Oh my god. Oh my god. We have a chance. I don't even want to look at the draft board. I just want to see if he's going to come to us. Aaron Jones. That's a former Packer. Come on, it's all up to you, piggy lover. Don't fuck me. Don't fuck me. I got him. I got Jordan Love. I've never been this excited about Jordan Love in my life. Oh my god. Finally. First is the worst. Second is even worse. Third might be one of the worst. But fourth. Man, fourth is where I want to be in life. If I could get fourth on all my drafts in every tournament that I've applied in, I'd be one happy man. Okay. Not too interested in taking a Khalil Shakir name in here. So, let's see who we will get. Malik Willis is there. So we can just take our back-to-back-to-back quarterbacks. What I do think is that Malik Willis could very easily get reached on here. So we'll see if we go 4 for 5 on people getting reached ahead of our pick. But we would be reaching on Malik Willis. I am just okay with that because we are pretty disgusting at quarterback right now. And then, again, never worried about tight end. If you don't believe me, watch my most recent video. I will be telling you in that. Not too worried. George Kittle goes. I wonder who is he looking for? Jonah Coleman later on to pair up with Bo Nix? So, Keaton Mitchell goes 135 on average. So, hopefully we can do the Malik Willis, Keaton Mitchell, and then do some tight end work. And tight end receiver work down the line. But receiver-wise, we actually recovered pretty well here. Getting Zay Flowers, Luther Burden, Brian Thomas Jr., Jaden Reed, Jacoby Myers. My top 2 candidates for the Jacksonville Jaguar wide receiver room. Jaden Reed, who I think is if he's not a 1A, he's a 1B in Green Bay. We will be getting Malik Willis here. And then Keaton Mitchell on our next pick is our bet. But we're done here at QB, which is a great look. Let's just make sure, yeah, I did want the 3-5-7-3. Perfectly good with that, my man. Keaton Mitchell will be next. Trey Harris will be one of our 7. But if Keaton Mitchell goes, I'm honestly not super stressed. At this point, my top QB may not be stacked. But Jordan Love is a pretty solid QB who I will have stacked with an elite receiving name. Elite might be a stretch, but I could have also done the Jalen Coker thing. But I don't think that anyone is going to take Keaton Mitchell. I honestly think this price is a little high for him. I'm only taking him because, you know, the rare opportunity to be forced into such a situation. I would actually much rather take Tyrone Tracy 6 picks behind ADP, but hey, you can't always have what you want. We can go Brent Strange and literally take everyone in the offense of the wow, I can't think. Take the entire offense of what team? Juwan Johnson looks really good, but I doubt we're getting him here. Um, I lied. We are probably getting him here. Gadsden, if he falls any further, 8 picks past ADP, I don't mind taking a tight end that I'm not too fond of. Again, if he's ever going to be good, it'll be in one of these weeks that Justin Herbert has an elite game. But yeah, generally I'm okay with most tight ends, but the fact that he has an elite counterpart, kind of concerning to me. We may go. If Juwan Johnson somehow falls to us, I'm taking him in a heartbeat. Else, we'll see. Yep, definitely not adding to that extension. Yeah, I am so happy with my extension work recently. But let's see exactly what this does. And I hope that it works out pretty well. But no. No, 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 no. Thought we were having a good time here. We are everyone but the quarterback of the Jacksonville Jaguars here. Which is never good to hear, but yeah. Trey Harris makes it back to us. That would be great. We don't need him at this point since we did get Gadsden. But yeah. Really do need to beef up the wide receiver position here. Don't do that. Thought we were having a good time. This guy takes Kenyon Sadiq and Juwan Johnson. Those are two of my favorite names in the tight end community, especially with the Chris Olave news that he is only now getting off the blood thinners. Maybe will be rising a little bit in ADP, so we'll have to see here. Super under correlated here, or under owned player in Trey Harris, who has the week 7 bye at the same time as two of my other receivers, but it's fine. Not too worried there. My two tight ends also have the same bye, but again, at tight end, you're never worried. Yeah, we're probably going to take the late round running back again. I'm assuming that if we can get Trey Harris here. If not, I have no Sean Tucker, and I would love to touch a little bit of Sean Tucker this offseason. A little bit more Dylan Sampson never hurts, considering I think people are undervaluing the extent of Quinshon Judkins' leg injury. That should look pretty brutal. But yeah, let's see what's going on. I hope my work gets completed. But we do get Trey Harris, we will take, if Sean Tucker makes it back to me, it's an automatic take. There's an 87% chance. But again, that's because at this range, picks become more quote-unquote random, where these guys all have an ADP of 187 or 184 to 187. So you have no idea what's going to happen. Aaron Rodgers just gets reached on. People are just getting their guys at these late rounds. Everyone has different rankings. So, yeah. Again, you see the guy who thinks that Tank Bigsby is more of an asset. So, that's definitely something. We do lose out on Sean Tucker and Cade Otton go at the same time. Greg Dulcich here goes at 182. That is looking like that might be the new ADP. That is pretty crazy. How is Malik Washington? Do I have? Oh, I do. That is interesting. Dylan Sampson, if he falls, will be ours. And we will be taking tight end wide receiver. Yeah, we will be taking tight end wide receiver to end up this draft. Njoku, and just honestly getting both the players. Now that my shit is paused, I hope that it can just load out. Gino falls all the way to 191 to a team that does not have a jet. Taking an unstacked Gino, that is poverty. Ray Davis goes surprisingly early here. He could have honestly waited till 216 to get that guy. Because he was on the board when I was at 216. And then Tyreek Hill. Get your guys, I guess. I think he was looking for... No, he wasn't, because he has Brissett. Some of these teams are really disgusting down the stretch. Tank Dell, I love. Ted Hurst, I love any of these players, honestly. And we'll just take a tight end with the last round, with our last pick. Anyone other than Ayuk, I am taking. This guy's taking a receiver for sure. He probably takes Ted Hurst. He does not. He takes Vance Jefferson? Van Jefferson. I don't know who that is. I do know that is a horrible pick. Njoku would then mean that we have no tight end points. So I may be looking at getting a Gesicki here. Njoku goes. Oof. I'm never taking a tight end too. Which obviously it says that I have taken him twice. But I'm not going to take him anymore. I've only think that I've taken him twice when he has literally fallen to the last pick. But this is a lineup. Honestly, the receivers could be worse. The running backs here, if healthy, this is the best running back core I could ask for. The quarterback's pretty solid as well. Overall, this team projects to have a lot of points. It's just, will it down the stretch? Who knows? But yeah, we can go ahead and take a look at all that. Got scared there. Nope, 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 nope. That's me. Nope, nope, nope. No. So according to Underdog, we are a for sure, and it's not even close, first place team out of the draft in itself. Which, obviously, the projections only mean so much, but yeah, this guy takes Shador. And the Colby Parkinson guy doesn't end up doing too well either. He didn't even need the third tight end here, maybe. I think he could have used the seventh receiver a little bit more, but okay. This looks pretty good to me. Yeah. And we're just gonna go ahead and review this. And if we do this, yep. Not a number I feel too great about, by the way. But as you can see, almost $50 in Devon Achane. And now CMC is no longer our least invested into player. It is actually, I mean, a tie between these guys. But it would have not been Trevor Lawrence either. I just wasn't lucky enough, but yeah. Hopefully should have another update pushed out to the draft extension. In just a minute here, but yeah, I'm gonna end the stream before we get there. Thank you all so much for watching. Once again, the pinned chat is the Sleeper League. It is a Dynasty Superflex League. If you are interested, please, please, please join. I would love to be streaming, making videos about this every day. So, yeah, help me out here, guys. Otherwise,